There are moments in life when everything feels on the edge of something immense, like the air itself is charged with meaning. If you've ever experienced an unexplained shift in your inner world, dreams intensifying, random synchronicities increasing, a sudden urge to revisit your past, it may not be random at all. In the unseen layers of reality, powerful forces are at play, preparing two souls for an encounter that defies logic and time. These are not ordinary signs. They are archetypal echoes, deeply rooted in the unconscious, rising just before twin flames meet. Whether you've already sensed them or are just beginning to notice the patterns, this journey is far more than romance. It is an alchemical fire, a psychic calling. In this video, we will explore the hidden signs that emerge just before the sacred union and what they reveal about your soul's deepest longing. If you believe everything happens for a reason, comment below. I trust the signs. Carl Jung's analytical psychology offers a profound framework to understand the mysterious signs that precede the union of twin flames. At the core of Jung's philosophy is the idea that the unconscious mind communicates through symbols, dreams, and synchronistic events. These hidden signs, those strange, intense inner stirrings or external patterns, are often expressions of deep psychic processes at work. Before a twin flame union, the psyche begins to activate certain archetypes, especially those linked to the anima and animus, Jung's terms for the inner feminine in men and the inner masculine in women. The sudden attraction, longing, or intense emotional shifts you feel may not be about another person at first. It may be your own inner opposite beginning to integrate, preparing you to meet a real-world counterpart. Jung also spoke of projection, where we unconsciously assign traits from our own psyche onto others. When a twin flame is near, the projections become especially intense. You may encounter people who seem uncannily familiar, or who trigger unresolved emotions from your shadow self, the part of you that has been rejected or suppressed. This isn't a coincidence. It's your unconscious preparing you for a soul-deep connection by confronting the parts of yourself that must be healed or accepted. The process leading up to twin flame union mirrors individuation, which is the journey toward wholeness. The signs you perceive, dreams, déjà vu, emotional turbulence, intuitive downloads, are psychological invitations to integrate the inner opposites and reclaim hidden aspects of yourself. The more aware you become of these symbolic events, the more aligned you are with the soul's journey. Twin flame connections are not just cosmic romances, they are catalysts for deep personal transformation. Jung's ideas help us recognize that what appears outside is always reflecting what is unfolding within. In the deep architecture of the psyche, according to Carl Jung, there exists a mysterious polarity. Within every man lives an inner feminine called the anima, and within every woman, an inner masculine known as the animus. These aren't simply traits or social constructs. They are living archetypes, ancient patterns of energy embedded in the collective unconscious. And in the moments leading up to a twin flame union, these forces begin to awaken, stirring the soul into an almost unbearable readiness. Before encountering the twin flame in the outer world, a profound activation occurs within. A man might suddenly find himself dreaming of a mysterious woman, elusive, emotionally rich, both comforting and haunting. A woman, on the other hand, may begin to experience a surge of assertiveness, clarity, or a yearning for something beyond conventional relationships. These shifts are not arbitrary. They mark the emergence of the inner opposite, responding to the soul's call for wholeness. This awakening often feels destabilizing. It may cause confusion in existing relationships, a re-evaluation of one's identity, or even a subtle pull away from worldly distractions. You may begin to desire solitude, introspection, or creative expression, all signs that the psyche is turning inward, listening to something ancient and invisible. At this stage, the unconscious begins to project the anima or animus onto the outer world, particularly onto potential romantic figures. But what makes the twin flame encounter different is that the projection feels almost sacred, as if the soul recognizes itself in another with terrifying clarity. What many don't realize is that this internal awakening is necessary. The psyche must first activate the inner opposite to prepare for a true meeting of souls. If this doesn't occur, we risk mistaking the twin flame for a mere romantic obsession, projecting needs instead of recognizing mirrors. The encounter would burn too fast, collapse under unmet integration. This phase is often accompanied by an emotional sensitivity that feels unexplainable. Music, art, literature, suddenly these things hold more meaning. A particular song might strike the heart with unbearable nostalgia. Old memories resurface, not to torment, but to bring the past full circle. These are the stirrings of the unconscious pulling threads together, aligning the internal landscape for a fated connection. Jung believed that true psychological maturity comes when the anima or animus is no longer projected outward blindly, but instead is recognized and integrated within. In this context, the hidden signs before a twin flame union are psychic flames, the soul catching fire from the inside, illuminating the path to what it is about to meet. And while it might seem that the union begins the moment the other person appears, the deeper truth is that the union begins long before in dreams, inner shifts and symbolic awakenings. The soul begins to clear space, not just emotionally, but archetypally, for something transcendent. To understand these signs is to understand yourself. The more you honor what's rising within, the more gracefully you approach what's coming from without. You're not preparing for a person, you're preparing for a mirror, one that will reflect your wholeness and your wounds, your divinity and your depth. And it begins with the sacred emergence of the inner opposite, quietly unfolding just before everything changes. There is a strange and often misunderstood phenomenon that occurs just before a soul is ready to unite with its twin flame. An emotional storm that seems to come from nowhere. Feelings intensify, wounds resurface, unresolved patterns begin repeating themselves with brutal clarity. While this may feel like regression or chaos, from a Jungian perspective, it is something much more meaningful. It is the shadow rising to be seen. Carl Jung described the shadow as the unconscious part of the personality that contains the aspects we reject, deny, or suppress. It is made up of traits we disown, traumas we hide, and truths we're afraid to face. Before a twin flame union can take place, the psyche initiates a kind of purification process by confronting these buried fragments. What appears as emotional turmoil is in fact the last resistance of the unintegrated self, the shadow's final attempt to be acknowledged. In this stage, you may find yourself experiencing unexplained mood swings, sudden anxiety, or deep melancholy. You might begin to re-encounter people or situations from your past that wounded you. Relationships that no longer align may suddenly dissolve. These disruptions are not random. They are orchestrated by the unconscious, forcing you to address what still holds psychic weight. The soul understands that it cannot merge with its mirror if it is still fractured. Often these experiences will trigger projection. You may feel as though others are suddenly more irritating, distant, or critical. In truth, these projections are reflections of the shadow asking to be reclaimed. Jung taught that whatever we reject in others is usually something we haven't accepted in ourselves. So when emotional intensity increases before a twin flame connection, it's not a sign of spiritual failure. It's the psyche purging old patterns to make space for something new. This period can also include what many refer to as the dark night of the soul. It is a psychological descent, where meaning feels lost and identity begins to unravel. You may question everything you once believed, about love, about your purpose, about who you really are. But within Jungian psychology, this descent is necessary. The old self must dissolve for the deeper self to emerge. Just as the phoenix must burn before it rises, so too must the unconscious be allowed to surface in all its complexity before union can occur. What makes this period especially significant is the sense of urgency and timing. There is often a feeling that something important is approaching, but you don't know what. This anticipatory anxiety is a psychic signal. The inner self recognizes that transformation is imminent. It is as though the unconscious is aligning the final pieces before the external catalyst, the twin flame, arrives to activate the next phase. Rather than resisting this turbulence, Jung invites us to turn toward it with courage and curiosity. Emotional breakdowns are often emotional breakthroughs in disguise. Each trigger, each painful emotion is a message, an invitation to integrate something previously unloved. And integration is essential because the twin flame does not complete you, it reflects you. The more shadow you have met within, the more stable and authentic the connection will be without. So when everything begins to fall apart, When your emotions no longer make sense and your world begins to feel unfamiliar, know that you are closer than ever. The shadow is not your enemy. It is your gatekeeper. And its emergence is a sacred rite, a final test to see if you are truly ready to meet yourself in another form. In Jungian thought, nothing of the unconscious is ever wasted. Every wound holds wisdom. Every emotional wave carries a signal. And when the shadow makes its last stand, it does so not to destroy you but to prepare you. Because only when the soul stands whole in its truth can it recognize its twin, not as fantasy, but as destiny. As the twin flame union draws near, the ordinary world begins to shimmer with extraordinary meaning. Numbers repeat themselves with impossible precision. You think of someone, and they call. A dream from childhood suddenly returns with powerful clarity. These events are not mere coincidences. In Jungian psychology, they are known as synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that reflect the inner world through the outer. Carl Jung coined the term synchronicity to describe how the psyche and the cosmos mirror each other in ways that defy logical explanation. As the unconscious prepares for the meeting of twin flames, it begins to communicate through a symbolic language. The soul on the edge of transformation becomes hypersensitive to this language. Time and space seem to bend, not because reality has changed, but because your perception is attuned to a deeper frequency. You are not imagining these signs. You are finally noticing them. Repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 333 often appear during this stage. While easily dismissed by the rational mind, these sequences have archetypal significance. They act as anchors, moments that pull your attention back to the present and remind you that something is aligning. Dreams also become vivid and emotionally charged, filled with unfamiliar faces that feel deeply familiar, or landscapes that stir forgotten emotions. These are not random fragments. They are psychic messages, revealing what the conscious mind is not yet ready to see. Symbols begin to carry an unusual emotional weight. You might be drawn to certain animals, objects, or pieces of music with inexplicable intensity. A feather on your path, a book falling from a shelf, or hearing the same phrase from multiple sources. All of these become carriers of inner meaning. Jung believed that symbols are the language of the unconscious. When we are approaching a psychological or spiritual threshold, the unconscious becomes more active, sending out symbolic markers to guide us forward. This symbolic flood isn't always peaceful. It can feel overwhelming, like the universe is shouting when you only just began to listen. Some experience time distortions, feeling like certain days stretch endlessly, while others vanish in a blur. There may also be an inner conflict, a tug of war between logic and intuition. One part of you tries to rationalize what's happening, while another part whispers that something deeper is unfolding. This tension is essential. It's the psyche stretching between two realities, the known world and the soul's calling. At this point, many people report sensing the presence of their twin flame before ever meeting them. You might feel watched, as though someone is thinking of you. You may even begin to write, create, or speak in ways that feel like they are meant for someone who isn't physically there yet. This is the unconscious establishing resonance, creating a psychic link that prepares both souls for contact. The signs are not leading you to someone outside of you. They are guiding you deeper into yourself, where the connection already exists. Jung emphasized that to understand symbols and synchronicities, one must look inward, not outward. These signs are not about magical thinking or superstition. They are invitations to align with your own individuation process, the unfolding of your unique path toward wholeness. When synchronicities increase, it's a clear signal that your unconscious is active, that you are on the threshold of something profoundly transformative. So instead of asking what these signs mean in a literal sense, ask what part of you is being called forward. Is the number you keep seeing tied to a memory? Does the dream character resemble someone you've lost, or some forgotten version of yourself? The unconscious is always communicating, but few are trained to listen. Those who do, however, discover that life is not random. It is saturated with purpose. When twin flames are about to unite, the unconscious turns up the volume. The veil between inner and outer thins, and the soul begins to echo through the fabric of daily life. These synchronicities are not just signs, they are confirmations. The universe isn't trying to confuse you, it's trying to prepare you, and the symbols you now see everywhere, They are your map, your mirror, and your reminder that something far greater than coincidence is at work. There comes a moment, just before the union of twin flames, that feels like standing at the edge of a cliff. You can sense the other soul approaching, whether physically or psychically, but something holds you back. It is not fear of love. It is the deep awareness that merging with another at the soul level demands something far more radical than desire. It demands the courage to fully choose yourself. In Jungian terms, this is the threshold of individuation, the process by which a person becomes whole, conscious of all aspects of the self, both light and shadow, masculine and feminine, known and unknown. Individuation is not self-improvement, it is self-acceptance. It is the painful and beautiful journey of encountering your own depths, dismantling the masks you've worn, and facing the contradictions that live inside you. And in the context of twin flames, this threshold becomes sacred. For two souls to truly unite, each must be standing in their full sovereign self, not clinging, not escaping, but witnessing one another from a place of inner truth. The signs that appear before union often escalate at this stage. You may feel an intense pull towards solitude, even if you long for connection. This isn't isolation, it's a call inward. Your soul may push you to leave environments or relationships that no longer reflect your essence. You may lose interest in old roles, habits, or identities. It can feel like shedding a skin, dying to a former version of yourself. This psychic death is essential. Jung taught that wholeness only emerges when we allow the ego, the false, socially constructed self, to surrender its illusion of control. Choosing yourself before choosing the other does not mean withdrawing from love. On the contrary, it means preparing to love without possession, without projection, and without fear. It means recognizing that your twin flame does not complete you. They reflect the parts of you that you have come home to. When individuation is embraced, love becomes a shared evolution, not a dependency. This phase may also bring a deeper encounter with your inner opposites, the anima and animus. You begin to realize that the qualities you long for in another already live within you. You stop searching for external validation and start embodying the very traits you once hoped someone else would bring into your life. You become both the lover and the beloved. And this inner union becomes the foundation for the outer one. Often this threshold is marked by a significant choice. You may be asked by life, by circumstance, or by your own intuition to let go of something familiar for something unknown. There may be a decision that tests your ability to trust your path, even without guarantees. This is not a punishment, it is a rite of passage. Jung spoke often about the importance of symbols, dreams, and inner guidance in these moments. You will not be left without direction. The unconscious will provide signs, but you must have the courage to follow them. At the edge of union, the universe asks, have you remembered who you are? Can you stand in your truth without needing to be understood, fixed, or saved? The one you're about to meet is not your rescuer. They are your mirror. And if you are not grounded in yourself, the reflection will distort, leading to confusion, projection, or loss. But when you cross this threshold with awareness, the connection becomes sacred. Two whole souls choosing each other not out of lack, but out of resonance. The final sign, then, is not external. It is internal. It is the stillness that arrives when you are no longer chasing, no longer waiting. You are simply being clear, open, and aligned. In this space, the union doesn't complete you, it amplifies you. And this, Jung would say, is the true path of individuation, the return to self so that you may meet the other not from need, but from truth. When the soul begins to stir with symbols, emotions, and echoes from the depths, it is never by accident. The path to twin flame union is not paved with fantasy, but with psychological truth. The signs that appear, emotional upheavals, symbolic dreams, uncanny synchronicities, and the pull toward inner solitude, are all calls from the unconscious, preparing you for a connection that transcends time and form. Carl Jung understood that real transformation does not come from what we attract, but from what we integrate. And before two souls can truly unite, they must each stand in the wholeness of who they are. This journey is not about finding someone to fix you. It's about awakening to the self you've always been, and in doing so becoming capable of recognizing that same depth in another. The hidden signs are not warnings or mysteries to fear. They are invitations. Pay attention to them, trust their rhythm, and follow the inner voice that speaks in dreams and symbols. If this message resonates with your journey, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch the video on screen now for deeper insights into the soul's awakening. Your transformation begins within, and the signs are already guiding you.